Jack Butella with Jill DeWitt.
Hi there.
Welcome to our show. Today, we talk about the stock market versus real estate investment. Do you guess which one's better? Oh, wait, our whole lives are about real estate. Captain Obvious here again. Hey, before we get into it, though, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Okay. Jim asked, I'm optioning a property from a tax lien investor who has a treasurer's title and title insurance on an infill lot in Colorado Springs
I love
subdivision.
where this is going.
I have an interested buyer who asked if quiet title proceedings had been done. I contacted my seller and he has not done quiet title. The buyer indicated to me that if quiet title is not done, then my seller does not have the right to sell the property. Is this true? And what actions would I need to take? Thanks in advance, Jim.
This is entirely untrue, and this is a very unsophisticated buyer who's trying to wiggle his way out of the deal or reduce the price.
Or he doesn't know.
Or he doesn't know.
He might just not know.
We'll leave it at that. Yeah. Quiet title. So a treasurer's deed, this is what happens. A person buys a tax lien, and an investor buys a tax lien, which is a lien, which they now has a lien on the property. So if the owner of the property has two choices, do nothing, in which case the investor forecloses on the tax lien and owns the property. That's what happened here. Or they can pay the lien, and the investor makes some money. Makes up to 20% in Texas. Between 1% and 20%. In this case, the seller elected to do absolutely nothing. So this investor, and rightfully so, went through the administrative process of foreclosing on the property. And they did it, if he's got a treasurer's deed, that's what the county issues in this situation. Either administrative deed or a treasurer's deed, depending on where we are in the country. Mm-hmm. So now the investor owns the property. I would argue that this is maybe the best type, the safest way to buy property ever. Because the owner just ducked out now.
And with the state statutes, I mean, years and years and years. It's like 5 to 8 years have already passed to get to this point.
And then to foreclose on it takes even longer. So yes, right. Yeah, Joe.
The guy's really long gone.
He's long gone. So now if you want to quiet title the property even further than that, that's fine. All quiet title is it's a statutory list of procedures that you go through. One of them is listing it in the newspaper to make sure that anyone who theoretically has a claim on APN XYZ, please stand up now and call this number or write back to this address. Well, nobody ever does that. Does anybody ever read the newspaper anyway?
Right.
So it's like 98%, I read recently, on your success of quiet titling a property is like 98%.
Got it.
So I think it's good to go through a quiet title proceeding one time anyway, just to see how easy and silly it is. You know, it's not anything you need a lawyer for or anything. It's just filling out documents on time and submitting them to a court and getting them stamped. So, do you have this? I'm going to read the last part of the question again. The buyer indicated to me that if quiet title is not done, then my seller does not have the right to sell the property. This is what he's referring to as marketable title, and it's not true. Treasurer's deed is marketable. You have a marketable title.
From there, you just go to a normal deed. Remember the time when I first got my first treasurer's deed years ago? I started to create a treasurer's deed. I was taught that you recreate the exact same type of deed, like special warranty deed, warranty deed,
Who
right?
taught you that?
So I don't know. I probably came up with it myself. But anyway, so I'm recreating my own deed, and I called it a treasurer's deed. I'm like, hello, you're not the treasurer. I'm like, you're right. Now I realize that. So
it's a good, healthy
It's kind of funny, yeah. That was a little mistake I made years ago. So then from a treasurer's deed, now you just do a normal warranty deed or grant deed, whatever it is. I think Colorado, so that's a warranty deed.
Right.
Now it's a new warranty deed from that grantor to the new grantee, which is you buying the property, and then you turn around and you sell it, Jim, to your guy.
I have one more point to make on this, and it's one of the greatest businesses ever. So if you're looking to creatively get into this, or I'm sure that some people who listen to the show already do this, after about 5 years, when there's just a tax lien sitting there, over-the-counter tax lien, right? It went to auction, nobody bought it, it's a piece of property, and it's after 5 years, it's foreclosable. Well, there are lists and lists and lists and lists on this planet of over-the-counter available tax lien tax lien properties are tax lien investment vehicles that are foreclosable right now. They've already reached the time frame. You can literally get a list from the county. If you go to landacademy.com and go to the resources section, I have it listed. I have all the counties in the whole country listed. There's like both the liens and the deeds. It's like 12 to 20,000 lines of data. If you go there right now, there's nothing to buy. I'm not selling anything. It's just a free resource that I put together. And it's not very fancy, trust me, but it gets the point across. Buy the property, buy the lien, foreclose on it, and then quiet title it. And now you bought a 40-acre piece of property in, let's say, wherever, Arizona, for way less than we even buy it. Mm-hmm. Tax lien foreclosures are maybe one of the greatest businesses ever. You got to get real organized. If you're a detailed, crazy weirdo, this is a perfect business for you. If you like to talk on the phone and stuff, this is not for you at all. So that's really what the show is about.
Cool.
If you have a question or you'd like to be on the show, reach out to either one of us on landinvestors.com. If you think I'm long-winded, keep it to yourself.
Oh my God. I'm over drawing pictures.
Today's topic is stock market versus real estate investment. This is the meat of the show. This is how I explained it to Jill right before the show.
It's not that I don't get it. I just wasn't sure where the point of the show was. Let's just make this clarify. This is how I explained it to Jill because she had no idea about what this is.
No. What I meant to say is this is how I explained what we're going to talk about on the show.
Thank you. That's better. Thank you.
I don't mean that.
Thank you.
Historically, the house that you own earns 11% as an investment vehicle a year. So if your house is worth $100,000, next year it's going to be worth $111,000, and that's all way over time. If you own it for decades and decades and decades. Obviously, if you owned a house in 2007 or 2009, it probably ended up being worth a lot less the next year. But over time, 11%. Same thing with the stock market. Historically, you got $100 worth of stock, it's worth $111 the next year. In our business, if you take $5,000 in January and then double it every month so that it's worth 5 times 12, which is, I think, 60, your $5,000 investment is worth $60,000 at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. What percentage is that? I'm not going to even calculate. It's in the thousands.
Right.
It's in the thousands. It might even be in the 10,000s of percent of return. This is a Captain Obvious scenario. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you have a vehicle like this, it becomes operational income, not a passive investment. There's all this talk about these passive income. Passive income is it's just an overused, silly Facebook. Park McCluskey uses it all the time. Get your own passive income. I think it's to try to get out of your job. That's not what we do here. We teach you how to make $1 bajillion.
Yeah.
And you got to work at it.
Right.
But it's $1 bajillion.
Exactly.
Then you take that $60,000 the next January and parlay that, start doubling that. Mm-hmm. It's a lot. Exactly. And now pretty soon you got a couple $1 million. So
they can really make some different decisions.
This could be the shortest show ever.
I noticed this. Well, you know what? Here's another one that I want to say too. As far as talk to me, Jack, about safety. Stock market crash versus real estate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The thing with if you're not, this is assuming all kinds of stuff that 11%, like you're going to be diversified. We're old enough to remember Enron. These companies go bankrupt all the time, and then you're just you're out your whole investment. As a shareholder, your lien position as a stock market shareholder is way behind everybody, creditors and everything. So this assumes that you're totally diversified and that you got to, for that $100 worth of stock, you've got, 100 stocks or whatever. It's tricky. All right. I'm not saying this is simple. I'm just saying it's risky.
Right.
But assuming you do it all right, it's 11%.
Right. What I love about the real estate investment side of it, if it all goes wrong, I'm still have my piece of land.
Yeah. You still have a bunch of property that you probably still underpaid for if you follow our lead on it.
Exactly, and you can weather that storm.
Land is not,
if there is one.
Yeah, unless it makes a horrific mistake, which none of our members, to my knowledge, have ever made.
No, yeah.
How can you go land if you buy
cash?
Here's how you could, let's
buy it right.
Let's be straight about it. What could go wrong? What could really fail in an acquisition? Well, you buy something that you don't think you're buying, right? You do all the engineering and research wrong, and you buy a nuclear sledge plant,
right,
instead of a good piece of raw real estate. That's
right.
I've never heard of that happening, but in the beginning, you got to be real careful about that. I bought a list of properties one time in Arizona, and I read down the list too fast, and it was Arizona, 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 AL for Alabama, Arizona, 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 and I said, this is the greatest deal ever. I got high off the acquisition. Well, it turns out the property in Alabama was a cemetery, and which I donated
right.
to the city, and they were happy about that.
Right.
But you have to do your homework and review what you're buying.
Mm-hmm.
What else could really go wrong is you buy a piece of property and for some reason you just spend too much. Like Jill said a million times, just get rid of it, forget it. Cut your losses.
I have a question, because we know people that I feel like everybody automatically knows that real estate, there's money to be made there, right? But yet, and it's a safe place. But so many people love the stock market, and they're in the stock market. Like, I have a really, really good friend. I'm not going to say his name, but he sits there, George, and he reads the stock market, and he sees the red and he sees the green, and I swear the guy gives himself a heart attack every day.
Yeah.
Why does it? Because I don't understand the attraction to that. I would rather have the safe, reliable, I know how it's going to play out.
That's why you're my girl.
Investment over here. Maybe because it's not sexy. I don't know.
Why do people go to a casino?
Yeah, I don't do that.
Have you ever been to a casino?
Sure.
I mean, and played?
Yeah. I didn't go there to do that. I just happened to be there. Like I'm going through Vegas to get to a ski trip, or
you and I have
stuff
been
like
together
that.
a decade, and I do not recall one instance of us gambling in a casino.
Isn't that funny? And especially when we go to the Caribbean, when there's a lot of casinos, we just don't go near. I mean, it's just not our thing. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to swim and dive and have fun and all that. I'm not here for the casinos.
So that's your answer. The answer is, you don't understand the stock market? You don't understand the casino, because it's the same high. It's the same high and same low. It's the same emotion.
I'm also not a smoker.
Yep.
I'm also not a drug, whatever. I don't get addicted to those things. Maybe that.
Hey, how much wine do you drink, though?
I don't drink a lot of wine.
What?
No, not wine.
If you
Ask me another alcohol choice.
If you went to our recycle bin,
but still, I don't.
You would be appalled.
Jack, I'm here to tell you, and I'm sure everybody here listening knows it's not me. Anyway.
Yeah, we could end it on that.
Yeah,
the stock market makes 11%. Your house is going to make 11%, and you're going to make about 8,000% annual return if you do it right in this thing. And it's not passive. You got to work at it and watch it, and it's fun. If you don't think it's fun, please don't do it.
Yeah.
If you want to just sit back, kick back, put your feet up on the table, and watch your bank balance grow, then do nothing, get into the insurance business.
I think what we do is sexy.
I do too.
Thank you.
I mean, we have a lot of people that listen to the show that I guess think so too, or they feel bad for us.
Well, you know what makes it sexy? What we can afford to do because of the money that we make. That's sexy.
We're doing a show next week. I think it's it's called Better Living with Equity.
Oh, okay, cool.
Did you ever hear that saying, Better Living by Chemistry?
No.
It's like prescription drugs.
No.
Well, I converted it to Better Living with Equity.
Got it.
What you're referring to, like, I don't really have to do anything today.
No, I really don't.
Join us in another episode where Jack and Jill discuss how to use information, that's me,
and inspiration, that's me,
to get just about anything you want.
We use it every day to buy property for half of what it's worth and sell it immediately.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition. I love equity. I love enjoying equity with you.
Thank you very much. I sleep very well.
I do too. Information and inspiration to buy undervalued property.